In the old days, it used to say the real estate market was driven by the 3 Ds: death, divorce, and debt. That ain't the case anymore. My name is Stuart Siegel, and I am going to be sharing insights with you about one of the most unprecedented shifts in demographics, the Silver Tsunami. I have been involved in luxury brokerage, consulting, and advisory for over 40 years, but have really been focused on the needs and focused on the buying interests of the luxury consumer and those that service those needs. The Silver Tsunami is basically what is becoming a very, very powerful meteoric shift in demographics. By 2100, 1 in 4 people will be 65 or over, globally. There are 1,200 people a day over the last 18 months moving to Florida, 1,000 to Texas, and 269 to Arizona. The shift is combined with what we hear is the most amazing shift in wealth and generational wealth that's occurred in memory. So that as Americans are aging, they're becoming a more pronounced part of the population, but also they're a more pronounced part of the active population, active economically, active in real estate, active in lifestyle. Due to wealth strategies, wealth creation strategies, wealth transfer strategies, that generation, the 65 and over, is transferring wealth at record levels to the millennial, the Gen Xers, and the younger generations. 84 trillion is projected to be passed down from older Americans to millennial and Gen Xers through 2045, and 16 trillion in the next 10 years. So that wealth transfer is part of the 65 and over Silver Tsunami. The reason why anybody in the real estate industry needs to be aware of this is because it is a very active potential market. It's not static. The 65-year-old and plus buyer or homeowner or renter is not just saying, I'm really happy with my house, the mortgage is paid off. They're looking to say, what is the next challenge? What is the next property type? There is a huge recognition in community planning, architecture, design, and health and wellness. So you have this whole migration to what's the best way to create product, to create communities, to create lifestyles to meet the aging population. I bet you if I got 50 advisors in a room and asked, how many of you had a transaction in the last 2 years where the parents helped with the down payment? I bet you all 50 would raise their hands. That is one very real concept of this great wealth transfer that's occurring. That first-time home buy is not the traditional first-time home, because many of them are the beneficiaries of this wealth transfer. So starter homes are taking on a very new dimension, a very new dynamic. And starter homes are also taking on this overlay of multi-generational living. There are real clear shifts in home design and the types of homes people want to buy and sell that accommodate this older migration. Every developer and every community planner now has to take into account, if they're targeting this market, that not only do they have to have the right architectural planning, design in place, but they also have to have the right community features. There's walkability, there's health and wellness, there is amazing new technologies that are being built into homes that have targeted the 65 and over. Do you know that some of the technologies now are, if you don't turn your kitchen sink on in the morning or flush the toilet, that rings a bell or alerts the professional staff that you might not be well. Downsizing, so home sizes are really important. Downsizing doesn't mean just reducing floor area or size, but it's basically reducing the size in a strategic way to accommodate this very interesting living model. What we also found is access to schools and universities. The reason is not so much that they wish to take part in what's happening, but wants to contribute knowledge and time into those universities and academic communities. Some of the hottest real estate markets that we see surround university campuses. And then there are those communities that do require what's called continuum care, basically for somebody who maybe move into the community in a way that they're healthy, they're well, and then either illness or dementia or other kinds of crises hit, and you're able to reside, stay in place, but you receive care in residence. And you can elevate up or down, and most of these communities with continuum care also have associations and affiliations with academic and good medical centers. Build a team around you who are dealing or helping people, advising people on these issues. And it ranges from wealth management to universities to architects to planners. Every profession that deals with the consumer, one of the things I strongly believe in is using our Engel and Völkers shops as kind of the hallmark, the place for people to gather and have them meet somebody who specializes in wealth planning, wealth management, wealth transfer strategies. You can be kind of the point person and bring people into the shop and have them meet the professionals in your community. Because real estate is still a very local business, very local. There are certain designations that you can get. NAR has something called Senior Real Estate Specialist. There is a health and wellness building standard from the Well Building Institute to make sure that your client understands whether or not the building is a well building. One of the things that I have really started to stress to our advisors is try and have this make a family-based decision. It's not just the real estate transaction, but there is economics involved, which can create stresses. Second thing is understand the ownership and rental models. We talked about continuum care. Well, you start at one price, but you can move up. Many of these communities act as if they're kind of co-ops. So you provide a down payment, which gives you the right to rent in the community. And there are other communities which are owned by the residents. So you're posting a bond, which gives you equity in that community. So the methods of ownership and the methods of renting are unique to this aging demographic. Talk to somebody who is in this generation and start to dialogue with them about how do you think about your home? How do you think about your health? What are you thinking about in terms of the next 3 years or 4 years? And it starts to create this conversation, which then you can start to apply to different submarkets, different areas in your marketplace, and understand what's driving those decisions. Step back from being the real estate professional and step into you want to acquire knowledge and have an understanding of somebody's desires, wants, and needs to help form your business strategy.